Today I'm going to be playing my own game. I was a Teenage Exocolonist, and you can join me in the chat and watch whatever you want to do. So this game is about 3 years into it, and this week we're having our very first demo version that is playable publicly, which was really a terrifying, wonderful experience to have people playing the game for the first time. It's probably going to come out sometime early next year, so we've still got a ways to go. And this demo is just the first kind of tenth of the game, less really. It's a condensed first year. So there's going to be 10 years in the game total, and this is your first year. So this is right after you land and end up on the planet for the first time. So I'm just going to play through a new game first. So game starts with a little bit of character generation that happens on the ship before you land. Starts with you being born. I originally had this much longer, but at least for the demo it's been shortened quite a bit. So here you pick your name, and you can pick a custom name here. Jasmine. These are going to be sliders. I dig the gender as like a fluid thing, not necessarily A, B, or C. I'm just going to skip by some of this text here. You're going to have to play the demo yourself if you want to read it slowly, I guess. I'm kind of a speed reader anyway in games. I'm pretty guilty of that, but clearly I've read this a lot of times. So when you start the game, you get an option of several different, these are like genetic traits that everyone gets. So they're going to determine your starting skills, and some of the events that happen will be things that are determined by these. So for this character, Jasmine, I'm going to go with calm temperament, which is one of my favorites. That's like you're kind of chilled, right? Nothing can faze you. You're rarely frustrated. I always thought that would be kind of a neat thing. If we could genetically engineer our kids in the future, like what kind of traits would you give your child? It's like they could be super smart or strong, but like really, don't you just want them to be kind of happy and chill? Yeah? I'm getting yelled at from the other room by Colin. Maybe something's going on with the stream. I don't know what he's screaming at me for. So yes, the next thing you can do is choose your friend. So let's see. Just make sure all of this is working. Yeah, so you can choose your best friend from your childhood, right? So you guys grew up on the spaceship together when you were young, and now here you are, kind of, 10 years old. Fucking what? Alright, my apologies. That was nothing to do with anything. Colin is just asking me some tech question. And did not want to come and ask me to my face. Okay, back to the game. A big part of this game is your friends, is the other characters with you. So they're going to be aging with you over the 10 years during the game. And this is what they look like when they're kind of 10 years old, but they're going to actually change, and you might be surprised at how some of them turn out. So on the ship, like, doesn't really matter. It's not like a very linear thing where this is going to determine your playthrough and you're stuck with this character. It's just kind of, who did you like the most on the ship? So what did I pick? I picked the chill person. Let's go with Dis. I feel like Dis might be the most like down, you know, kind of person here. He's this guy. He's this one here. These are gonna like pop up and, you know, tell you something about each one of them when you make this choice in the final game. But for now, let's just like, let's pick this guy. So he likes that. That's your, you know, +1 friendship. You've got a love meter. All the stuff has appeared now, so you can check out your list of friends. Oh, you got no friends yet, but soon. Because you've befriended him, you get a little bravery and a little perception. You'll see these little bubbles popping up all over the place. That's your stats changes, and they'll appear over here on the left side. So yeah, so it really advances very quickly. I wasn't really reading this. It advances super quickly now. I took out like a whole ton of this stuff, so now it just jumps right into like, ooh, you're about to land already. Oh, okay. Your parents are there, and it's all very dramatic, and you're frightened, and you get hit on the head very dramatically right at the end. This is your ship is about to pop out of a wormhole and end up for the first time in this solar system where you're planning to go and make a new home. So you get hit on the head, and you have this kind of weird vision of things to come, which is kind of cool. You might recognize this character. You have seen them already, actually. Yeah, so you come back to, and boom, you're there. You're landed on the planet. You look out, see the planet. All of this is, you know, temporary. There's going to be an interstitial here where the planet rises up, and you see it for the first time. And unlike like Earth's green planet, there's going to be like a purple and weird alien jungle-y looking kind of thing there. So bam, character generation complete. Let's just check. So, yes, this is your first time on the planet, and you can walk around in here. You don't go very far before you get pulled in by a little bit of tutorial. There's not much tutorial in the game right now, but everything will be explained a little better when it's not this kind of haphazardly put together demo. So, you know, a little explanation for what you're supposed to do next. That was Tammy talking to you here. She's this one. She's a sweetheart. All the characters have like very different personalities, so her thing is she's just lovely and like very sweet person. So we should go and see our dad, which is what Tammy told us to do. So this is our dad, and this is the geoponics kind of area. It's still a bit of a work in progress, but I think it looks super cool. These big geodesic domes. So your parents are farmers, so you're going to spend a lot of time kind of learning about farming, and it's a big aspect of the game. There we've got the domes again in this background. Like super wonderful artists that did this. This is Sarah Webb. You might know her from she does her own comics and stuff. She's really amazing. And she did all of the concept art for the game initially, or not the characters, but all of the backgrounds and environments and stuff. So a lot of that, although she's not in the team anymore, but a lot of that was kind of her initial vision. So let's talk to our dad. He's a sweetheart. He's kind of goofy. He's a little embarrassing, to be honest. Hold on, let me just turn the volume down a little bit as suggested. The music on here is Pollen, Northway, my husband, who was yelling at me earlier. He made this like awesome loop that we could use for the demo. It's like just kind of 5 minutes or so loop, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. We're gonna get actual audio. We actually I can make it official perhaps. We just signed on a shell in the pit and M. Halberstadt to do the sound and the music for the game. So this music is just completely temp. It's not going to end up in it. And I'm super excited to have those guys on board. They're good friends of ours from Vancouver here. And they've done like a ton of amazing games. And it's really happy that we're going to be working with them. It's going to be great. And I'll make a big announcement about that soon too. So yeah, chatting with our dad here. You can kind of comment on, you know, how the heck I thought we were just landing and now suddenly there's a colony here. But, you know, time dilation, video games. So he hands you this package. You're gonna see it here like in a dream, and you know what's in it. This is one of the first times, right? You bumped your head on the ship. You had kind of a funny vision. You talk to your dad, and he hands you this package and goes, "Happy birthday," and you're like, I know what this is. Like I've seen this before. Like I've seen this moment before. And yeah, this is one of the first experiences that you might have that kind of indicate that something wacky is going on. So you can either open the package or kind of put it off till later. Let's just open it. So this is also the first card that you've perhaps seen. So all of the like major decisions that you make and major friends that you make and sometimes just kind of random stuff that happens to you becomes these memories that take the form of cards, and they're going to be in your deck, which is kind of a you're going to use it, you'll see in a minute, to do any kind of battle or any kind of strife that happens in the game. Everyone's pretty dismissive of your weird fugues that you have, of course. It's just like, oh, you're tired. Yeah. So yes, so your dad suggested that you know, maybe go to school, maybe go lie down if you're tired. So we have a couple choices here. We can walk around and explore a little bit. This is kind of the starting zone, but there'll be a lot of other places to explore later in the game. But this is like the initial colony. We've got this is an enemy here. We'll talk to her in a sec. This is the engineering wing, where all the science stuff kind of happens, and this where we came from earlier is the my gosh, I'm forgetting the names of all the places. So this is like the main half of the ship, and that's where the quarters are. That's your living quarters. So you can kind of see that the ship like split in half. I might be able to show you some dev stuff later. I can show you a panned out view of it, but it's like when the ship landed, they kind of did like a, you know, in Star Trek Next Generation, they do like a saucer section, like comes apart and it's two pieces. So they sort of did that and landed the ship in two different parts. So this is the engine rooms, and like you can kind of see the big engines up the back. And then if we go all the way to the nose of the living quarters here, this is the command area that's like up at the front where the bridge is. So we can go into all of these, but there's not a lot right now to see in them because you're young and it's the first week. So there's nothing you can do here, but there will be a bunch of jobs that open up over time. And by the time you're like 18, you'll have a number of things that you can do here. Someone's asking, Fleur Ass is saying, how do you raise the stats? So there are a couple ways to raise stats. One of them is through events, just kind of random events will raise stats occasionally, but the main way is by picking what you're going to do for the week. So these activities are mostly jobs, but they can also be like relaxing in your quarters is one of the options, and going to school is an option as well. So I walked into this building here, engineering, and I have 3 choices to do something for the week. These will look a little more like presented to you, like your choice for the week. But yeah, so we could study engineering or humanities. Let's do engineering. Get a little event every time you do anything. This is like your first day of engineering class. You meet the teacher, you meet the like teacher's assistant, and and she's pretty awesome. She's the ship's computer too. That's congruence. So after just a little like introduction event, you get stats changes. So because you studied engineering, you're going to get better at engineering. Also the reasoning skill, which is going to be used for like kind of general knowledge stuff. Yeah. I'm just reading Victoria Ross's makes sense for things that you can be taught, but what about speech related skills? So that is a good question. I was kind of back and forth about how I organize these skills. So reasoning being sort of an innate thing, but like engineering or biology or like very like specific knowledge based things. I use persuasion for things like how good you are at speaking, and persuasion and creativity, I believe, are things that you would learn if you studied humanities, as well as reasoning. It's all like, yeah, it's not like I considered an approach that was like very organized, but this one is a little more, it's a little more organic. Like you might, like some of these skills are easier to come by than others. And some of them are kind of the primary skills. So like reasoning is the primary mental skill and toughness is the primary physical skill. And I chose empathy for social skills. So those will be a little easier to raise than others. But at the end of the day, they're not necessarily more important than others. So you might notice I have some debug mode options on here. So I might be like turning those on occasionally, but they're not available in the demo. So, okay, this is our first day, and yeah, this is our first day, and we're in engineering class. So this is going to determine like kind of how well we performed for the day. So this is our default deck of cards, which I didn't show you earlier. The tutorial will kind of pop all this stuff up for you, but you do have a deck of default cards. These were actually the choices that you made at the beginning of the game determined like the fact that we have more social cards, for example, than this. That was probably because I chose the stat that was like, I'm the chill person. So we have more social than physical down here. And also a couple items that we picked up along the way. So an animal book is like our favorite thing from when we were kids. And the sun medallion is the one that your dad gave you. So I can't remember what we have equipped right now. It's probably the animal book right now. Yes, so the animal book's equipped right now. It doesn't do anything in combat or in challenges. But yeah, but the other one does. So I might switch to it in a minute. Yeah, so this is just going to determine how well we did in engineering class. So you just have to drag cards up into these slots. You have to fill all 5 slots. You start off with drawing 5 cards, but later you'll be drawing more cards and have more decisions to make. The trick is that order matters. Order matters a lot because what you're trying to do here is make a poker hand, sort of. But a poker hand in a specific order. So you want things like straights. So 0, 1, 2 is a straight. You see a 3 over here. We could make this straight bigger by making it 0, 1, 2, 3. Even bigger, much bigger bonus. And now we've met our total. We've met our goal. I mean, we've got a total high enough that we can win because it's a Boolean, like you win or you lose. So we've won for the day, which means we get +1 extra engineering skill. This might also work out into some other things, like you might get a little extra kudos or a little less stress depending on what sort of activity it is you're doing. But right now it's just +1 to whatever the primary statistic is for that job that you just did. Right, so the week is almost over and you get another chance to talk to your parents. You see your mom again. She's been really busy farming, eh? And you can kind of tell them about your day. I'm going to leave this one for now. Most people are drawn to the my dreams keep happening for real part. But I'm just going to say, I went to school, but it was boring. Yeah, Mom doesn't like that answer. She's like, they do kind of the good cop, bad cop thing. Mom's the bad cop most of the time. But your dad's not so. Your dad doesn't push you quite as hard. Nothing, not saying anything about my actual parents. No one in this is based on a real person whatsoever. Definitely not based entirely on my own adolescence. So that was a week passing, and we learned a few things about the world, about engineering, I suppose. Let's go talk to some folks. So let's see Tammy again. We can reminisce about like how we interacted with her when we were kids. Were we nice to her? Maybe we used to tease her. Maybe we used to tease her. I don't know. I put in a lot of options that are things that seem just kind of like a little mean, mostly just so that you can see them and be like, I'm not a mean person. But, you know, maybe you do want to roleplay that you're not the nicest person to poor Fennec Face here. As I guess you had this horrible nickname for her. But she's such a sweetheart, right? Tammy is so sweet that she turns everything around. She asks, you know, like, yeah, is a fennec a kind of vegetable? Um, and then, you know, she goes like, oh, fennecs are cute, and thank you. Like, you know, you're trying to make fun of her or whatever, and she just turns it around to a compliment. She just believes that everyone is good inside, and she doesn't like suspect people of being mean to her. Um, yeah, sometimes it might be frustrating, but I think she's just the sweetest character. She's some of our team. She's like among the favorite characters of our team members. I don't want to talk to parents again, but let's talk to Cal over here. So he's like the farmer boy, good natured and like very sensitive. He's a really sensitive kid. He's not in terms of like he doesn't bump his knee and cry, but he's like very kind to everyone around him, and he really like notices when people need a hug. He also has a hoverboard because why not? There's kind of a theme in this game of technology breaking down because right they show up in this spaceship. It's very high tech, but over time they're sort of transitioning to be more of an agrarian thing. That they're going to do more farming and they're going to have to do things manually. So there's a lot of like at the start of the game you have more technology, and then like over time you have to replace that with other ways of doing things. Because they didn't bring a lot with them, right? There's only 100 people on the ship, and you kind of find out later some stuff like the ship might have not really been theirs, and they were just kind of got in it and got out. So they didn't have a lot of time to plan and to bring everything that they might need, but they brought enough to get started. The first year of the game, though, you don't like you're a child, right? You're 10 years old. You don't really know all this stuff. It'll sort of slowly you'll learn it from different sources, and you'll kind of hear hints from the adults about how things aren't doing so well. I think maybe if you talk to your dad around now, you might hear something like that. Oh, he loves Susan's. He's such a positive guy. Your mom less positive. You can do whatever you want so long as it's productive. And then she presses you into school again. Oh yes, so she's like kind of in tutorial mode right now. She'll just tell you about whatever area you need to hear more about. So let's hear about expeditions. Oh no, you're far too young for that. You couldn't possibly do that. Your father would be worried. Yeah, she's not in. She doesn't want to talk about that anymore. But I thought you were asked how long are we to expect a run to be? Yeah, mom is badass, isn't she? Yeah, so one game. I mean, I'm not actually sure. This is one of the things I'm working on right now. I'm kind of hoping like 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. But initially, I'd thought 2 hours for the entire 10 years, and some people right now are spending 2 hours just in the first year, just during this demo. So I'm definitely having to like expand that quite a bit. But obviously, the second time you play, some of the events do happen every single time, like all the kind of yearly events, all the stuff setting up the first year for sure. That'll all be the same every time. So you can make different decisions in it, but since you've read a lot of it, it'll go by much faster. So yeah, I'm hoping for 4 or 5 hours. Maybe it'll end up being a lot more. We'll see. Yeah, let's talk to Dis, our buddy from. We chose him as our best friend, right? Let's see if we can see. No, he still doesn't like us. Apparently, Cal likes this though. He's got a heart there. This is when I start to apologize for. I'm not really sure why he's not in here right now. I think Dis will be there after this event though. Oh yeah, he's just staring. He's just staring at the gates and going like, I want to go outside, even though he's kind of technically outside the gates already. Yeah, this is spooky, scary stuff to come. Monsters. Brodney's asking, are there going to be restrictions on how many times we can do friendship activities? Yeah, definitely. Like you won't be able to give gifts over and over. I think even right now it's locked down. And things like once you're like closer with someone, you get options to be able to like train with them or give them a hug or whatever, just like every week for a little bonus. I'll have to balance those. We'll see how often that they happen. It might be once a season or even once a year or something. If I'll just figure out how it's going to be balanced. But for sure, you won't just be able to unload your entire inventory of stuff on one person and have them fall in love with you instantly, because that would be not a fun game. So, Wigglies, and horrible things that might happen in the future. So that was another, like, kind of vision you had, perhaps from a dream, or maybe another life. It doesn't really matter what you answer to Dis here. He's such a grump. You can tell him you believe him. No, you don't. You're being sarcastic. Sorry, buddy. No matter how much you press him. In exactly the same way that Tammy will believe the best in everybody, Dis thinks everyone's out to get him. And he's just not a very happy little kid, at least when he's younger. Maybe we can change that if we befriend him. So you know what? I'm just going to go out here. Let's see what happens. How bad could it be, right? So yeah, I'm just going to sneak out and explore. Yeah, thanks, Thorias. Yeah, for the cool ass monster design. That was a good group effort. Yes, there is definitely going to be romance when you're older. Yeah, the demo here is just age 10, so there's no romance, but that is going to be an element. It's not like the main part of the game, but certainly one of the writer, Lindsay, is like pushing a lot of romance into it, and I think you're gonna like it if you're into romance. I think you're gonna like it. Yeah, so there's definitely elements of that. All right, let's explore this place. First, check out this again. And let's try to follow him. Nope, we lose him, but we gain a skill for trying. So the sneak out explore area here is just outside the fort, just outside the colony, and it's a little sparse right now, but we're gonna have it like there's not a ton of stuff out here, but we're gonna have it. We're gonna have a lot more stuff in here to do. I might just drastically increase the number of collectibles so you're running around grabbing armfuls of flowers to turn into cards. That could be the way that it goes. So this mound here, it's kind of hard to see right now, but is an event. So when you get close to it, it'll pop up this event here. So in this case, it represented a big steep hill that she can walk up. So you leave your pack at the base, you walk up to the top. Looks kind of pretty. You can kind of see the graphics there. It looks nice. There's a rock up there, but you're not tough enough. You're not tough enough to push it down the hill. You got good perception, good bravery and empathy, but we're not very tough yet. So we're gonna have to resist the temptation of this rock. We're not strong enough to push it off the hill. Just honestly, probably for the best. All right, let's go follow the path now. See where this takes us. Yeah, 50 endings, or yeah, it's gonna be an awful lot of stuff going on. So here's a collectible, a piece of mushwood it was. So these are gonna show up. You can't see them anywhere right now. There's no inventory, but it's gonna be on this page somewhere. This is your deck page. So these are your memories, which are the main cards from your deck. That's the gear. You'll be able to buy those in the store as well. And then you'll also have a section for all the collectible things, which are also useful for gifts. And they'll be used for crafting as well. So, came across another one of those mounds, and this one was an event. It's just kind of a throwaway. I threw a bunch of these in. I was in a real hurry making this demo, so I just kind of tossed like tiny events in. So in this case, you have the option to watch something crawling along or maybe touch it. Oh, you touched it. You got a bravery. So that's just a temp text. It's going to be expanded into something more interesting and longer, but there'll be just a lot of those little things. Here's another one. There's just some dead bushes in the way. Crawl through them. If you didn't crawl through them, they'd stay there, and anytime you tried to walk that way, you'd bump into it again. So there can be cases, and you'll see especially later, where you're stuck and you have to be able to find a way through. Hold on, I might have to go get the door. Just a second. Hey, Colin. Get the door? I got some guys out there gonna fix our situation. Brought Me Spears is asking, which one of your kids is your favorite so far? Oh my god. They're all my favorite. Whoever I'm working on at the time is my favorite. This might be right now because someone in our Discord, and I should link you our Discord, said that they thought he was going to grow up to be a serial killer. And I was like, oh, poor guy. But also, let's see if I can put a link in there. Yeah. But also, makes me love him more. It's like he has a bit of a tough adolescence, and I feel bad for him. But we will actually see him in just a minute out here. We'll find out what like his true hobby is. First, let's collect some flowers. See what else is around here. Collectibles are gonna kind of glow and shine and stuff. I'm really looking forward to getting some sound effects in because there's absolutely no sound in the game right now to just like indicate where things are. So here's Dis again. This guy's my favorite, I guess, right now anyway. So yeah, usually he's kind of mooping around and he just like, wants people to leave alone. He's a little bit of a grumper. But like out here, you just like see him all by himself wandering in the wilderness. What do you say? Should we tell him we're gonna tell on him? Let's just ask him what he's doing out here. I Kind of like the idea of playing a complete brat, though. Just, I'm telling on you. So we like sit out here because there's no people, and I can kind of relate to that sometimes. So here's our first challenge. Call them battles in here. So he wants us to like climb out to the edge of a cliff face and look at a view with them. So we're going to be brave and try to do it. So this is sort of like the weekly challenges that you do every time you pick a job or go to school or whatever. But this one is a little more complicated. There's 3 rounds to it. You're going to draw extra cards every round, but you have to kind of think about like which cards you want to keep for the next round and which cards you want to just use up because they're shitty or whatever. So in this case, I'm going to keep, we have more yellow cards than other cards, so I'm going to keep a couple yellow cards and hope that we get some more yellow cards. Made sure to put our 2 1s together because that way we get a +1 bonus for the pair. Not feeling really great about this though. Our goal is 27 this time. It's really high. We do have a couple of collectibles that we found that we could use to make this better. So the yellow flower is going to change a card to be yellow and give you a +1 to it. I think I'm going to save that so I can use it with my 2 yellow cards. The mushwood would just give you +2 to a card. I think I'm just going to save those for now, but I might end up using them. So this is secret because we're friends with this. We got this card from him during the beginning of the game. So it's kind of better than other cards. It actually lets you do something that's kind of cool, which is get 3 of a kind that are all zeros. So you can actually like zero out your cards on purpose and end up getting a bonus because of it. So in this case, we got a flush bonus because they're all the same color, and also separately a 3 of a kind bonus because they're all the same number on them. So 9. Still not feeling real good about this. Now I have to make 15 on this last hand. Remember, I do have a couple collectibles I could use if I need to. So I feel like I want to go 0-1-2 because that gets you a straight. Because this is a bravery challenge, bravery is in the like social, it's up here. So it's like a yellow suited, like social suited skill, which means that there's a special rule just for this battle, which is that social straights, so 0-1-2 or 1-2-3, those get an extra bonus to them. So you want to really save up your yellow cards, and you want to focus on your yellow cards if you're in a bravery challenge. So I could do this, but I'm thinking this might be a good place to use my yellow flower maybe, or maybe my mushwood, or maybe both. So if I put the mushwood here, that's definitely going to do it. I got my total 15. I also have, so I have 0, 1, 2, and 3. So my straight's gotten longer. Now it's +6. And that is enough. I could also use the yellow flower over here, which would get me another couple points. It would make my flush bigger as well, because it would turn that card yellow. But I don't need it, so I win. I'm kind of surprised I won that one. So yeah, we were brave enough to meet to the challenge, and we stepped out, looked out at the great vista, gained a little bit of perception skill, snapped a picture, but I can't share it because I get in trouble, honestly. And lost some stress too, so that's a good thing. And let's just call it a day, or a week actually in this case. So we're on our way back again, and get caught by this guy. So he's the head of the explorations unit, and later he might be your boss later if you get hired on to do actual explorations work rather than just sneaking out when nobody's looking. So yeah, he's not super happy that you're out here, obviously, and you can agree to never do it again, but you know, you telling the truth or you lying? So we're lying. Definitely gonna do it again. I think that was pretty fun. Another one of these dreams. Things that seem real, seem like very familiar, but nobody will listen to you. So I really want to like tease these dreams in the demo. In the full game, you actually might not see any of this in the first playthrough, or you might just see like the barest hint of it. The actual idea, and this is a big spoiler, is that every time you play through, you are going to remember actual events from previous times. So it will matter. And these like kind of random vague dreams will be very specific things that you remember doing in a previous run. And it will open up new paths and make things possible that weren't possible otherwise. So for this first run, I kind of don't want you, I want to excite you with it, but I don't want you to get obsessed with it because that does not lead to good places. There's kind of a very bad thing that happens if you just get obsessed and go around telling everybody that you can see the future and you like have dreams that are like other lives and stuff. It ends up in really bad places. So for the demo, I'm just kind of like, which one of these 3 reasons is why you're not going to tell people anymore? So it could be that, yeah, you just want to be normal, you don't want people to worry, or my favorite, which is secret powers are awesome. And then you have some very scary future dreams, but you hope they don't all happen. Here we have our second season. The seasons are gonna skip by real fast because, of course, like in the full game when you're playing it full, like you know after the first year, I mean. So they're going to be skipping by real fast after a little while, but I still like to use them to kind of position you through time so you can see the passage of time happening. But let's just skip talking to folks and just go and take some more classes. We did engineering last time. Let's do humanities this time. Thor's asking, will there be any soundtracks in the game? Yes. So haven't decided exactly how we're going to do it. I know we're getting Shell in the Pit, and Gordon McGlattery is going to be heading up the music end of that. So he'll probably be scoring at least like the title track for it, maybe a couple tracks, and then I'd like to get a whole bunch of different artists to or musicians to work on it together. But all that's still kind of up in the air. Yeah, it would be pretty cool if we could get it somehow released as a soundtrack. I don't know if it would be bundled with the game or maybe a thing that was completely separate. I don't know. It's going to be complicated if we get a lot of different artists. It might not happen, but there'll definitely be music in the game at any rate. So we're taking humanities this time. Same teacher, it's Hal. He's a sweetie. He's a sweetie who is very drawn to trouble, as you'll see in kind of the second, third, and fourth year. You have to intervene and get him out of trouble a few times, or things won't go so well for him. Yeah, but I really like the guy a lot. He is kind of based on a teacher that I had in high school. I'm not gonna say his name. So he's gonna take a nap. That's awesome. You're gonna write an essay. I don't know. He's taking a nap. Do I really need to? I might just like doodle instead of writing. There you go. He's just like hanging out, snoring, whatever. I got some creativity for dueling. I got a little rebellion for not doing the homework. And then he wakes up and takes my kudos away. So kudos are like, I didn't have any, so joke's on him. Kudos are going to be the currency for the game. Right now they're like very unbalanced, so they don't, and there's no store, there's nowhere to spend them or anything, so they totally don't matter at all for the demo. But you will see them used as a payment sometimes, or as like a threat or whatever. So the idea of kudos is that they are not so much a street currency. The adults don't use any currency at all. They just, there's only 100 of them and they just share everything. But they want something to be able to motivate kids. So yeah, it's like a social kind of thumbs up thing. And if you have enough of them, you can trade them in for like candy at the candy store, or like little trinkets and stuff and toys for kids. Um, and stuff that teens would want, but it's not like a true currency, um, but it'll be important for kids anyway. And in this case, yeah, you did bad in school, so you get some thumbs downs from your teacher. I feel like it's more like Harry Potter house points or something. It's been more like that. Yeah, yeah, that's basically it. All right, so yeah, creativity and reasoning. I was wrong about persuasion. Creativity and reasoning is what you get from doing humanities. And a little extra stress, but since I have that trait that makes me so chill, that's my like genetic enhancement, then I get a minus whenever I get stress. So stress is not so bad for me. All the same, I've collected quite a bit of stress up here. I'm up at 74 already out of 100. So because another week has passed, I'm doing another of these little card games to see like how well I did. I mean, I already know I slept through it, or I doodled through it while my teacher slept through it. So, I don't know how hard I'm really going to try on this, but I'm trying for this goal of 15. I got a 1, 2, 3. Maybe I can get a 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'd like to rearrange these so that the colors are together as well, but you need 3 of a color. I don't know if I can use my yellow flower here to somehow win this. Yeah, this is kind of tricky because if I use the yellow flower on this one, it's going to become a 2, which then breaks my straight. But then I would have 3 of the same suit. I don't know. I think I'm just going to give up. So I didn't get the bonus this time. I'll save my flower for later. Maybe I can give it to someone as a gift. Yeah, thanks, Bifenol. Yeah, social currency is the primary. Yeah, there's like a lot of ideas in here that are just sort of things that I wanted to see in the world. Like just future utopian ideas. There's a lot of crazy stuff actually. If you keep doing, I think not in the first year, but if you keep doing the humanities classes, you kind of learn about like what Earth was like before they left, and like how they formed this group of people and what they have in common. And there's just like a lot of like very Star Trek-y utopian ideas in there. One of the like bizarre ideas I had was that everyone had traded their like embryos around, right? Like everyone has genetic manipulation. So like at some point, all the kids were in petri dishes getting like poked at a little bit, like to make them better in some random way. And so one of the things I had was that then people traded those embryos around. So your child was not genetically your child. You could still, you would still pass on your culture and they would be like, your baby, but not your actual genes. The idea of trying to like break like racism and more than racism, like the idea that like if someone is blood related to you, that makes them better than if they're not. I don't know. Is just one of those random ideas that has come up to me an awful lot. It's just like, what if we all just like, did like a roulette with babies when they were born? Like you still get a baby on the same day. Does it really matter if they're genetically you or not? And like, would that somehow improve society? I don't know. Maybe not. Brittany's asking, every battle challenge that's not of the impossible rating winnable? Yeah, no, not necessarily. So a lot of it depends on which cards, so which stats you got at the beginning of the game. So, right, because I chose that I'm chill, and I think because I chose that I'm friends with Dis as well, I got more yellow cards and I got a 2, which means that I will be better at like bravery, empathy, persuasion, and creativity battles if I can get that extra bonus. That's the idea anyway. Like I said, things aren't super balanced for the demo, so you might still find that you're losing yellow battles even if you've got a lot of yellow cards. But yeah, about 50% of the battles in the first year are fixed so that they will be winnable. So like every second battle kind of will definitely be winnable. And the rest of them are based on your skills. So the goal will go up or down a little bit based on if it's a bravery battle and you have high bravery, the goal will actually go down a little bit. Um, and some randomness. There's just a random element as well, so you can get screwed or get lucky. You're supposed to lose the impossible ones, that is true, but you could win them. It's impossible, but it's not really impossible. You could get lucky, or you could throw a whole bunch of collectible items at it, probably. But when you see that something's impossible, you're kind of meant to lose it, and it's not always necessarily bad to lose a battle also. All right, so we just finished our history classes and it's mid-afternoon and there's free candy in the cafeteria. How crazy. Let's go get some. This pink candy kind of reminds you of Tammy's hair. We're gonna actually have Tammy walk in and say, "Oh, I have to go grab something from the other room, but like save me some of that candy." So you get a new card, this pink candy card, which is actually pretty good considering we don't have that many good cards right now. And you come home to a very serious event, which is that Tammy has died. So this is probably the only well, there's a couple sad things that can happen during the demo, but this one will always happen the first time, so don't feel like it's your fault the first time. Just a random accident. Sometimes people die. So you'll find today that most of the characters are a little choked up about Tammy's death. Cal especially, him and her, they had a close relationship. So it's very sad. I miss Fennec Pace too. I feel bad that I was mean to her. Everyone's got a reaction to it today. Tang is the kind of analytical, sciencey type. She just wants to know why. She just wants to figure it out. She just wants to know why bad things happen to good people. It's pretty understandable. Maybe we'll just spend today relaxing since our stress is at 100 of 100. Actually, technically means that we couldn't do anything else. So if we tried to go to school or something, it would say we were too stressed. Can't do it. So the only thing that we can actually do today is go relax in the lounge and just kind of let's just sit by ourselves maybe. Because it's a pretty sad day. Maximum relaxation. We got a little persuasion anyway from chatting to some folks. Yeah, what kind of time we got? Oh, it's already almost 4. I'm going to show you guys. So this is about halfway through the demo. We could go back outside, but there's not a ton of other stuff that spawns out there. Maybe like 3 times as much as what we've seen already. And we could just spam through one of these jobs. There's also more jobs we can unlock if we talk to the right people. But I'm just going to kind of skip ahead and show some debug features. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's not in the demo because that's fun. So we can see that you can close this menu. So I think I'm going to show you, let's see the different areas that we can go to. I'm going to show you one of the different areas. So we'll just load, what is it? I'm going to load a scene. Let's check out, since it's dust right now, let's check out map dust. Let's see if this is working. If any of this breaks at this point, it's not. This is not part of the demo. We're off the rails now. I'm just showing you other parts of the game. So this will be unlocked after a couple years. And this is where you come to, actually this is kind of later in the game. This is where you come to do surveying work. Specific kind of surveying work that they send you off to. So to get here, you're going to need like a flying machine. So they give you like a little, you know, like Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. She's got that like little flying machine thing. That's sort of how I'm imagining it. So you'll land that here and be running around in this place. I'm not sure if there's a lot of events here. Maybe there might be no events here, but I think it looks kind of cool. And it's a much larger space. You can kind of get lost in it. Here's some kind of event. This might be just completely random shit. Or it's just, yep, just like tip text. It's like, you're mining or something. That's what most of the events that aren't in the first year are, just a little like, we're going to see what happens here. So yeah, you're doing a mining event. It's a perception challenge. I'm just going to debug and win this. Hooray, we won. There's nothing. You're going to get a rock or something by doing that. There's some kind of crazy stuff. Strange devices. Yeah, I like the plants. I like the sense of distance in here. It's all still needs a little bit of work, but I think it's looking pretty cool already. Oh no. I'm just going to tough it out. I don't need water. Nah, I don't need water. I'm fine. Oh, I like fall through a hole and find water. I'm lucky. Yeah, I'm definitely all about the crossover. Biphenol is saying, yeah, they're into systems and stats and mechanics, and I'm definitely into the crossover of that plus narrative. I like it. I like it when a game melds the two of them. I'm trying like very hard to keep the amount of text down, which is really hard because I, you know, like to write. And Lindsay, the other writer I'm working with, like also really just like the two of us keep, you know, trying to fight our inner urges to make things longer, so that we can keep focusing on more like the stats and the mechanics of it. But I like kind of in the middle, and I also like some pretty graphics. So this is definitely the most time that or most effort I've put into any game before on the graphics side. And yeah, I think it's starting to look good. It's definitely starting to look really good. Oh yeah, right. Oh my god, I'm gonna die! This is all temp text. Oh, yeah. Also, kind of a random spoiler there, but not a thing that happens in the demo, for sure. This is dangerous being out here. Who knows what we could run into? Jesus! That was my original. That's temp art. That's what all the creatures used to look like. Pretty messed stop. Huge. All right, I'm going to show you a different zone now. Let's go to... that Pollen's one of my favorites because it is so pink. And this is the game where I have learned to like the color pink, which I previously had a real problem with. But I don't know, kind of works sometimes when you just overdo it. This monstrosity here is also my temp art. It's supposed to be a silhouette of a human being. Oh yeah, you might see this in the demo. You get beat up by plants right now. How embarrassing. You were warned and you just went and walked right into those slap grasses and they slapped you but good. Yeah, so I like this area. This is one of the first areas that that Sarah Webb drew concept art for, and then Meili Chow, who's our character artist, and also did all of the art for the maps for these areas. So or most of the plant art. Yeah, they did like I think they just did such a ridiculously good job. Like when I saw the concept art, I was like, oh, this is great, but it looks like a painting. Well, it'll never be what the game looks like. And then boom, like May totally did it. I think it looks just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, and like you know, the effects and stuff, like there's a lot of tweaking that needs to be done. The plants are all just randomly put in place right now. They need to be tweaked a bit more, but yeah, I think it looks magical already. And this guy. This is Lindsay, our writer, also did all of the art for the creatures, and I freaking love it. Yeah, it's really wonderful. I think this one was her original design too. There's two of them. Oh, this is such a good scene. I'm just gonna skip by it, but it's a mating dance. It's a wonderful dance that they're doing. These big, clumsy-ass creatures. Super fun. Yeah, so let me skip ahead time a little bit. You can see what some characters are going to look like, and then I'll head back. Let's return home first. There's always that little shortcut, that return home shortcut, that's probably going to stay there. It's like always up at the top, just so you don't have to go find your way back to the entrance again. Yeah, let's skip ahead a little bit. So, dang, this worked earlier. Shoot. Huh. Okay, I lied. I guess I can't do this. Yeah, whoops. I don't know. I'm not sure why that worked earlier. I'm just getting caught by this is just the demo ending. It's just like, boop, oh, looks like the demo just ended. Whatever. Let's just go back. It's about time anyway. It's 4 o'clock, I think. So I might just leave it there. See if I can fire a cool event for you. See if I can remember what a cool event is. Well, we could just jump to the end. We could jump to the end of the demo. Let's do that. So glow season, which is the coolest season. Got my graphics setting all maxed on here so it can handle all these stupid, ridiculous light sources. It's not how it's going to ship. I apologize if you tried to run this on like a MacBook or something, because it wasn't really going to happen. Oh, I'm too stressed for anything, so I'll just go chill again. Exploring is supposed to be stressful. It's just to waste your time a little bit. So when you come back, you're usually going to have to spend a week or two just doing nothing. It's just part of the balancing of it. Brittany's asking if I plan on releasing an early access. Yes. Yep, I'm thinking of early access. It'll probably be a Kickstarter too. I'm thinking September or October Kickstarter, and then early access early next year. Yeah, January, February or something. We'll see. And there might be another. So this demo is just for this week, but there'll either be this demo or another one will be given out with the Kickstarter. So as soon as you back, you get the demo as well. And you'll be able to just keep that one and do whatever with it. Yeah, and then early access. Mostly because I think I'm going to need a little hand with mostly I'm going to need a little hand with balancing the card game. I think it'll be easier with more folks to be able to do that, because there are a lot of cards. You don't see very much in the demo right now, and there aren't the cards aren't placed very well right now, but there's like 200 cards, and they'll definitely matter, like by the end, by the time you're 18 or 19, like what deck you've built for yourself is going to matter a lot. So I'm going to need a hand balancing it. It's going to be hard to do just with programs to do it. So all right, so this is the last event of the demo, when the emergency sirens are starting up in the middle of Glow, and it's the middle of the day, but it's kind of perpetual night out there, so it's a little spooky. And we're brave enough. We're brave enough to help fight. So we're gonna help fight, and we'll remember that later in later years. And that's a good card. But unfortunately, this is the last event, so you're not gonna have a lot of chances to use it. Yes, it's rebellious because of course they wanted you to stay home, and it's stressful because everything's stressful. So you have two choices. You hear, you know, your parents are working at geoponics, but you also hear some problems at command. So two different options. Let's do geoponics, because there's Cal again. Poor sad Cal. I was like, Cal never cries. He's not that kind of sensitive, but he's always crying. He's always crying in the demo. Yeah, some doggies. They're not doggies. They're not doggies. We don't have art for these monsters, but they are. I kind of imagine them like Miyazaki kind of film monsters, like you know, like kind of blobby and black and sort of formless. They've got eyeballs just all over their bodies. They're kind of messed up. Right, their eyes blink one at a time. It's just, I don't know, freaky things. So we're going to go the empathy approach, because we actually have 10 empathy, and try to figure out what this poor doggy wants. Which Cal likes. He likes when people use empathy to try to solve problems. And I see the doggy thing is frightened. But unfortunately, frightened animals attack sometimes. So we're going to have to fight it. But I think it was an easier challenge because we used empathy first. Or maybe a harder challenge because we didn't just attack first. Hey, look, it's our new card. Awesome. I'm going to save it for now, though, because it's a high number. I want to use it in a long straight. Let's just go with, we could do the 3 1s. Boom, boom, boom. +2 for 3 of a kind. Because this is a red combat challenge, pairs are worth more, but it seems a little unlikely because I don't have very many red cards in my deck that I'm going to manage to draw a pair, so I'm not going to save my red card there. This is what I thought was more likely that I might get. Wow, this is actually pretty good. Look at all these cards. So things get kind of tricky fast, but this card gives +1 to the right, this one gives +1 to the left. So together they turn into much higher cards and can fill out like a straight, like a 2, 3, 4 counts as a straight, so that's +3. And all of those are the same color, +2. We're rocking this one. This is good. We're drawing all our best cards. Oh, this is an interesting situation. So I drew a 5 and a bunch of 1s, which of course they all become 0s. They still match, so it's still worth quite a bit. And yeah, this gives points to the last card, which is the only one that's not 0. So that's great. Boom, you did it. Although it's not the happiest time to win because we had to kill this monster. It's pretty gross and sad. I got kudos for it though. Gotta wonder if that's like your dad giving you kudos or if it's more like later on social media, everyone's like, that little girl killed a monster? Mom, of course, is never happy. She just wanted you to win. Nobody knows how the animals got in. There's some mysteries there. But your first year is over. Yeah, we didn't talk to our parents very much because we didn't do a lot. We didn't do the, there was a shoveling job. But you might learn a little more from them about how the food supplies are going and that there's been some problems with that. A little foreshadowing for some of the stuff that's going to happen later. And here we get to see the slightly older versions of them. They're not lined up great, but you can see Cal poking his head over there. That's the guy who was just crying, and now look at him. He's a little man. And this, our buddy, got acne. Poor guy. And I love the black nail polish. My little god. Yeah, he's great. So this is actually the art from them that will be used for age 14 through 16, I think. So it's a little premature showing them older, but I wanted to give a little teaser at the end. Sadly, Tammy did not make it, but another spoiler, if you play again, you can save her. So, Chief Engineer. That's not bad for having taken like an engineering class once. It says I can keep playing, but I think... What? Now I can keep playing? Okay, now I can keep playing for some reason. I'm going to show you what people look like when they're a little older. This is the last thing, and then I got to call it. Okay, so I just advanced time until 18, so you're 18 years old. This is how Chasmin turned out. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Oh dear. There he is. There's my man. So this is Cal at age 18. Looking a little different. Complaining about an enemy and how much she's changed. Still great spoilers over here. The characters on the map, we don't have age 18 for them yet, but they'll look older as well. An enemy, right? If you've seen her when she was young, she had this kind of like little orphan Annie, like poofy bunch of red hair. And now it's like sweet, shaved on one side. She's like in the military. She's very different. She's a complete ass kicker. I love her little star-shaped freckles. They're so wonderful. Let's give her a flower that we waited 8 years to give her. Thanks. That's it. One more, and then this is the end. Because I really like how she turns out too. It's Tangent. Tangent has some hard times and very serious, hard decisions to make in her 10 years on here. Also, another spoiler, this background right here. Oh, she's still asking. She's like, is my little 10-year-old brother like out in the jungle? Is he safe? Yeah, I'll keep him safe. All right. So I'm gonna call it there and go back to the main menu. But yeah, thanks to everybody who joined us. And Rubicow, oh yes, thank you so much. Thanks, Rubicow's played my last game and played it for 3 days. Really? 3 times. Thanks very much, everybody, for watching. And sorry that I rambled an awful lot, but you get what you get. Sarah Northway, I guess. Okay. And I'll probably be restreaming this again tomorrow. So for folks, if this is not live, you know, come by the Discord. I'll post the Discord again one more time and talk about the game with us. Tell us what you think after you do the demo. And see y'all later.